Today we're recreating James Arthur's Say You Won't Let Go on Soundtrap.com. Okay, we're going to start off with a clean project as always and go and add our drum beat. The first thing we're going to add to our song is just the snaps. Make sure your tempo is set to 96, and I'm going to click left until I see swish. There's swish, and let's see what that sounds like. To make those snaps more significant, I'm going to grab the reverb and pull it up. Fantastic. I'm going to relabel my track snaps, so that way when I go to mute and unmute, I know which one it is. The next thing we're going to add is another drum set part, and this is going to be our bass drum. We're going to leave it as vanilla, which is super nice, and I'm going to put a tiny bit of reverb on there, not a whole lot. Let's see what that sounds like. That sounds like our beat. The next thing we need to look for is a guitar, and something that came up in a previous video, which I'm very grateful for it being brought to my attention, is that some of the sounds I'm using are not the free ones. So I'm going to make sure we use the free guitar. I'm going to add a track, choose guitar or bass. Then when I go to guitar, I'm going to go to acoustic, and the first one says free, which is great, so then everyone will be able to use it. Now when we go to create our guitar part, I'm in the piano roll, and I'm going to make a new part and drag it out for 4 full measures, because I know that's how much I need. I'm going to go between C2 and C1 and find this B flat right here. That's the note we want, and it's going to go a whole measure. After B flat will be A natural, 1 below. Then it'll be G, 2 below. E flat. There it is. And we should have... Oh, we're noticing an issue. We left our looper on, and our drum set pattern is only good for 1 measure, so we're going to loop it out for all 4 measures now. Excellent. Because this melody is so intricate, we're going to draw this out and just be very careful about how specific we are. We're going to find the B flat right below C3, and we're going to draw a line that's 3 squares long. Now your line might have shot out to be a whole note just like those other ones, so you're going to draw it back and make sure it's only 3 boxes long. We're now going to go to F above that. I missed. And we're going to find that F and put 3 on there. And then we're going to find D natural. And we have those 3 notes. Awesome. Now the next note is not going to be right after D. It's going to be on beat 4, which is right here. And we're going to make this one go 4 squares. So our first measure is... And I really do want that D to ring the whole time. So now we have... Awesome. Underneath the B, we're going to do A natural, but we're going to bring it back again to only 3 squares. F again. D again. We're going to pull... Oop, and I see that that's marked as D flat. There we go. And then after that, on beat 4 is going to be C for cat. Perfect, and make it only 1 beat. Now we have 2 measures. Awesome. The next note we're going to find is G for girl, way down here. Excellent. 3 beats long. F again. D again. Stretch. The next note we have is B flat as our last note in the measure. Make it fit. When we get to the next measure, we're going to start with G. And then we're going to go up to E flat. That's the first one we've had with E flat. And we're going to put B flat at the same time. Put 2 of those. So it should sound like this. But because that first one rings too long, I want to shorten that to just 1 square. It's duration. We're not moving where it starts, we're just changing the duration. And then for beat 4, we have E flat to D. And we're going to make D is going to ring. There we go. And maybe we'll make these extend. All right. So we should have all of our melody. I'm going to turn my metronome off, and let's see what we have. Awesome. So if you're paying really close attention, you're going to realize there's more notes to this song than I put in there, and you're more than welcome to put as many as you want. Because it's a guitar, he's probably plucking 3 or maybe even 4 notes at a time, but these are the notes that stick out to me, the highest ones and the lowest ones. So what we could do is go back in and put in some repeating notes that are in each chord. The first chord is B flat major, so what I could do is put an F that sustains the whole measure, and let's see how that makes it sound. Definitely makes it denser, makes it feel more full. All right, the second chord is F major, so we could just do F again. The third chord is G minor, so instead of F, how about a D for dog? And our last chord is E flat major, and we're gonna go with another E flat, like an octave B flat. So now we have a couple more notes. But I feel like we're missing some of these higher harmonies. I'm gonna go underneath F and add D. I'm gonna go underneath D and put B flat. And see how that sounds. So it's starting to sound a little bit more dense and more like an actual guitar player. So the second chord we said was F major, but it's an F6 chord in reality, so we're actually still gonna put D underneath, but instead of B flat, I'm gonna put A underneath here. And see how that sounds. Yeah. Our third chord is G minor, so I can go back in, and D will still work. And under D, I'm going to put B flat again. And because I like the way the last one sounded with that short pluck being second, I went back and shortened all of them. And that sounds a lot like it now. To make my song a 4-measure loop, I'm going to grab this gray bar and extend it to 4 and turn my loop back on. So now it'll keep going when it gets to the end. In the peak of this song, which is the chorus, there's 2 more instruments added to this, and it's not a whole lot. There's organ, piano, and maybe bass. And so what I'm going to do, instead of having electric bass, is just play the piano chords really low so it fills in that bass end. So let's go to add a new track, piano keys, and let's make sure we're using the free grand piano. Awesome. The chords are pretty straightforward, just like before. And I'm going to jump down an octave. So let's have some fun with this section, and let's actually play the chords on our keyboard. Make sure your metronome is on. The first chord we're going to play is a B flat major chord. That's J, period, and W. You notice I held them out all 4 beats. We want that to fill the whole measure. Our F major chord is V, N, and comma. So we're going to wait the first chord out and press that in the second measure. All right, now you're going to see some overlap, and we don't want that overlap, but we're going to fix all of that when we edit all the chords together. So let's get through all the chords before we change any of that. The third chord is G minor. That is B, J, and period. We're going to wait till the third measure to press this down. Awesome. And I press spacebar to end it. And our last chord is E flat major. That is D for dog, B, J. I'm going to press those 3 down in the 4th measure. Okay, we have our 4 chords punched in, and we didn't have to do any squinting. So now we can see that my attacks are all over the place, and even my sustain is all over the place. So the first thing I'm going to do is select the chord and stop it where measure 2 begins. Now I'm going to press Control A, quantize, and I'm going to go all the way to 1-1, whole notes. And that makes everything snap into place and look very nice. If you see any major gaps, you can extend those notes to the end, but otherwise these ones, just a little bit of space to breathe, nothing wrong with that. I'm going to add a new instrument, pianos and keyboard. I'm going to go to change my instrument. I'm going to go to organs. In the interest of sticking with free instruments, rock organ number 1 sounds surprisingly awesome. So we're going to stick with that. There's 2 really good organ parts of this song, but the easiest one possible is to play D and F, the first 3 measures, and then switch it to E flat and G for the last measure. On the keyboard, that'd be X and V, and then D and B. So I'm going to hold that first chord for the first 3 measures and only switch to the other one in the last measure. X and V. So now that we've input our notes, let's go back and mix everything. We don't want everything at the same volume. It's not the same importance. The first thing that comes to mind is the organ does not need to be loud. It's just a sustained note to kind of give you emotion. It shouldn't be really heard, but more felt. And the piano kind of sounds like bam. So again, we're gonna pull that volume down. Okay, so I thought I was done, and then I listened to the original track to see if I missed anything, and they add strings at the very end, so why not? Let's jump on in on that. We're gonna go to the string section. Let's find one that sounds good and happens to be free at the same time. So the string section is free, and it's the same chords as the piano, so what we could do, if you want to be real fast about it, go to the piano part, hit copy, go to the string part, hit paste. We're not done. Go to the piano roll, hit Control A. If I press up, it just goes up. But if I press shift, up, haha, press and hold shift, and press up while you're holding shift, now we're up 1 octave. And let's see what that sounds like. That sounds okay. That sounds okay. I think another octave. So we're still holding all the notes, or Control A to get them back. Hold shift. We're now up another octave. Yes. Cool. Excellent. And maybe the strings come down a little bit more, and if you really feel like it, any kind of, nah, everything sounds good. I don't know, I'm missing anything. So with the strings in there, I think it covers most of the sounds that you hear in the song. We're gonna start by muting everything except the acoustic guitar, and it sounds like this. Next section, we're gonna unmute the snaps. Let's bring in the bass drum of the piano. So then, like the first couple of choruses, we're gonna bring in the organ. For the final choruses, we're going to bring in the string section. And then, when we get back to a verse, we're going to make it all go away. Awesome. I hope you had fun. I'll see you later.